Coming up, we'll be going on a Southeast Wisconsin bowhunt, but it did not go the way I planned. Hello, I'm Dean Romano. It's time for Outdoor Wild. Okay, I'm out here on some public land, but I don't think I like the looks of this. It's a good area, but very, very close on both sides of me is private property. Now, I'm right off of the highway, which is very unusual for me to do, but the thing is, I've seen a lot of deer come right off the highway, you know what I mean? I mean, off these little forested areas off the highway. This is a very small area to hunt. I mean, there's a lot of land out here, don't get me wrong. But if I hit one, you know, with this, well, if I hit one with my arrow and it decides to dart a ways, which 9 times out of 10 they'll run for a while, and it heads over to private land, I might have a problem retrieving it. If you're looking back at me here, see, that's all swamp there. And over on this side of me here is woods. But not far from the woods is the highway. So it's a small area. I mean, for gun hunting, it might be a lot better. But there is one other guy back here, and I don't want to disturb his hunt. So I'm not sure. I'm gonna just take a position, and we'll see what happens. And I'll turn this back on. I'm recording with my phone right now because I'm not gonna take a chance and spook these deer. So I want to quiet it down, and we'll see what happens. Okay, guys, where do I begin? Let me tell you what happened. First of all, you can hear that I'm not doing good. I'm okay physically. I mean, I'm not. What the hell am I doing here? I'm not feeling real well. I got sick. I went out on the deer gun hunt. I was trying to bring that video with the bow hunt video. I wanted to have the two together. Now, to the best of my knowledge, I was doing everything right. I went out on public land. That was a little rough because there was here in Southeast Wisconsin. There's a few good places. One of them is New Munster Hunting Ground, which isn't as bad. There's a lot of acreage there, but there were a few hunters out there, and I didn't feel comfortable with being around way too many people in a smaller confined area. I used to hunt way north of here, and I would hunt the Vilas County area, and I felt more comfortable with that. So during the bow season, okay, here's the story. Here's what happened. I had video for you, lots of it. I was going to bring it to you. I didn't want to bog you down with me just standing around not getting a deer. I'm sorry, I'm not feeling well. I got to tell you what happened. You got to know about this because I promised to bring in the Southeast Wisconsin bow hunt, and I was working on it. We had it all figured out. Things were starting out okay. First piece of land I went to hunt. A farmer that I knew told me, Dean, you can go back there and you can hunt that property. Okay, that's perfect. All right, beautiful. And I asked him, I said, you sure? He says, yeah. I mean, I thought he owned it. He didn't own it. Well, apparently, in the meantime, he died. He had a heart attack and died. So I had seen his son, and I asked him if they were still out there and if I could go out there and hunt it. His son said, yes, you can. And I said, did your dad own that land or did he rent it? And he said, well, we're still there and we will be there. He said, however, we rent the land, but if Dad said you could hunt it, then he obviously got permission and you can hunt it. So I said, okay, fine. So I went out there to hunt the land on my bow hunt. Brought a camera out there, got some nice recording of me grunting the buck in, the whole shebang, right? So I get out of my truck, I'm walking back there and I hear some lady, she gets up, she was doing something, I don't know. I don't know what she was doing. Something not a garden, but she was bent over doing something out there, working on something, obviously. She gets up and she says, hey, who are you? I'm like, what the hell? So I walk over, I talk to her, let her know what's going on. She kind of rolls her eyes in her head and says, well, here's this thing. That sounds like Craig. Now, Craig was the guy that rented the land and then died. Okay? She said, no. She said, we didn't give anybody permission to hunt this. She said, however, you were honest with me. You were straight with me. So you know what? You can hunt it today. But then she said, what I want you to do is check back with me, and I'll have to check with my kids because they really don't like hunters here. She said they had hunters out there before. They got destructive, whatever she meant by that, I don't know. So I thanked her for letting me hunt it for that day. I tried to get back with her several times, and as it turned out, she didn't answer her phone. She did not send me back a text. I'm like, all right, now I got to find another piece of land. Now, in the meantime, in my area here, we got blasted with a nice snowstorm. I'm like, oh, beautiful. So I had to go out and remove a bunch of snow. And I'm going to say there's about 1 foot or 2 foot here when we got hit. So I go out, I remove all the snow, get ready. I'm going to go on the deer hunt during the week. So my voice is back and forth. I'm very sorry about this, but yeah, I'm not doing real well. But anyway, I'll be fine. It just sucks. So I go to get out there, and I had to find another piece of land or hunt the public lands. And as I said, when I don't, the public lands here are fine. There's some acreage. There's some pretty good acreage to the public lands here. We have New Munster, we have Bong, we have different areas. But you got a lot going on during the bow season. You got the pheasant hunting going on, which I love it. I love all of it. So our plans were to find a spot and get some hunting in. But now you got guns going off, you got the deer rutting, and you got the grunt going on. So sometimes it may not be a bad thing to do anyways, go on the public land. But I thought it was just too crowded and I didn't want to do it. So I wanted to go to the private land, the farmers around here. So I had to knock on some doors. Apparently, after I got rid of the snow out of my driveway, I could move out and do some hunting. With everything going on, I knocked on a few of the wrong doors, and I got a lot of no's. Where I used to be, you can hunt this. One area I thought was phenomenal that I used to go to, she said, oh no, her sons hunt it. They don't want nobody else back there. So that ruled me out again. So I'm driving around, and I called a buddy of mine, and he says, Dean, he goes, there's a lot of, you got to start knocking on doors. So that's what I was going to do. Then I started feeling a little blah, feeling a little sick. I thought, okay, I'm not doing real well here, but I was driving around. There happened to be a farmer sitting out in his truck. And I turned around and he looked at me. I put my window down. He asked, what was up, if he could help me. And I told him. He said, yeah, you know what? He goes, he gave me a place to hunt. And there they had this CRP fields. Anyway, they had the grassy fields for the deer, and then there was a tree line. There was some tree lines around there. So I go out there. I'm out there a little while. I'm out there for about 4 hours, and all of a sudden I start hearing, not too far from me, which happened to me with the other land too, guns going off. Now, this is during the rut season. I'm thinking, well, is it going to affect the deer? Is it not? But they weren't too far. I did not like that. I did not like that. So I felt very uncomfortable with that. So apparently, I gave that up. So I was going to go back then for the gun season. And since I hadn't found another piece of land yet, I went back there for the gun season. Now, Saturday morning was the opening day of gun season. I thought, okay, well, I'm going to go for the bow hunt, which I had some footage where I was trying to go out there the deer. I'm going to show you the deer I saw in a minute. You're going to see that. And I couldn't. Well, let's just go back to where I was during the gun season. I go out there. Now I go out there. I've got a major headache. No, I wasn't drinking. I don't do that especially when I'm hunting. I was not feeling well. I had a headache from the night before, but I said, "Damn it, I'm going out anyway." I had a plan to get the deer during the rut. Now the rut's getting later in the season, so now I have to be careful. I try to grunt one in, so I give it a couple of more tries, and nothing would come into the area. Nothing. After about 4 hours, what you hear now, man, I started feeling it. I was feeling, oh, damn, I'm getting sick. I had the headache. I felt like I was getting a fever, a little bit of a chillness. I thought, okay, well, I'm going to get the hell out of here. Maybe I'll feel better, come back tonight. And that was my plan because I'm a diehard when it comes to that. But unfortunately, I got too sick and I couldn't do anything about it. So I was not able to complete that hunt. I had some video footage, a lot of video footage I wanted to bring to you. So it was the hunt of the Southeast Wisconsin Bowhunt. That's what I was bringing you here. I had a good time when I went out. I stood out there that first day where that lady told me I could hunt that day. I had some nice footage of me grunting that deer and it didn't happen. And just previous to that night, my wife and I drove by there not too far and we saw this. So I'm going to show you this. And then I'll get back with you in a few minutes and I'll tell you what the story is here. And guys, the only thing I can tell you is I apologize. I feel terrible about this. I would never bring a video like this to you, but unfortunately, I couldn't control the weather and I had problems getting the property. Well, it's not going to happen down the road because what I'm going to do down the road is, what the hell am I doing here? What I'm going to do down the road is I'm going to be talking. I'm going to start knocking on some doors and checking this private land around here because I used to hunt around here all the time. I never had a problem with getting land around here. I know things change. I'm a little older guy, and you got the younger generation coming up, and you don't have as many hunters as you used to have. And those that you do have, sometimes they don't want you back in their land. So I may have to start scouting out the public lands a little bit more around here and seeing what looks good. However, I can start heading north again and doing more of the bow hunts and things like that. But let me show you something. Sit tight. Wait till you see this. Now, I did have this on my last show, or maybe it was a show before that. I don't remember when I talked to Christine from the DNR, but this is paper, Wisconsin Outdoors. Supposedly, that is the wolf damage in the counties I used to hunt, all that red. And they're claiming, a lot of hunters up there in certain areas, Violence County areas, things like that, are claiming that they're desolating the deer herds. I don't know. I did some checking on it. There's people that are pissed at the DNR, but I talked to the DNR many times, and they said, look, they said they want to start a lobbyist. They can do it. The hunters can do it, so I'm going to try to start one of those. They said the problem is you have to go through the federal act. They're federally protected. DNR said, we're just taking orders. We can't do anything. We can't control that. That's a federal act. And according to what I was told, and if the hunters want something done about it, they got to turn to the federal act and try to have it change. And unfortunately, in this state, I never used to be this way around here, and I'm not going to get into talking politics, even though I am a conservative. I'll just lay it out. That's what I am. But unfortunately, they put a governor in office I never would have put in, but This has nothing to do with, I guess deer hunting don't have anything to do with politics, but it does, because they butt their nose in. He supported that Endangered Species Act on the wolves in Wisconsin, which hurt the hunters. So that didn't help. So they got to get it by him, and they got to get it through the federal act in order to change that so we can help protect the deer. Now, the white-tailed deer here in Wisconsin. So there, don't get me wrong. It sounds like I'm making excuses. A lot of people got deer this year. They did good. And I'm going to share some of those photos with you. I have some wonderful people that contributed, beautiful human beings. And one of them that I talked to his daughter, I'm going to pay a little tribute to him. He was a phenomenal outdoorsman, left a great legacy on the land, in the forest where he hunted, and he did it. He was phenomenal. He unfortunately died in a tragic fire. Him and his wife and daughter. It was a pretty bad thing. I don't know the full circumstances. I did not want to pry and open up the wounds to those that love him. So I just knew he had died, and I wasn't able to get together with him. And we were going to get together and do some video in time, but it didn't happen. At any rate, I'm going to present some of his photos here in honor of him. And I'm going to present the photos of some of these wonderful people that went out and worked so hard and they got their deer, and I'm proud of every one of them. And so what I am bringing you won't be a total loss, and I'm going to show you the buck that we spotted that I wish I could have called in, but it just didn't happen. I've had a rough year this year. Last year wasn't better because, excuse me one moment, I'm very sorry about this. Okay. Last year wasn't any better because I went out late in the season. I had a rough year. I started going out real late in the season, and the weather was horrendously cold, really cold. Then we got a ton of snow, and then it got colder and colder. Then it's melted, and we got rain, and then it got windy, and by now the rut was over with. So I've had a rough 2 years. It happens. I'm going to take it as it happens. I'm not a quitter. I'm definitely a hunter. Next year I'm going to do something a lot different. I'm going to put in for an elk tag in upper Wisconsin, and the elk herds are doing good. But elks, bull elks are a little bit better fighters against predators than Wisconsin whitetails are. However, the Wisconsin whitetails aren't diminished. They're here. And some people believe they're making a comeback, which they may be. So this is something I'm trying to keep tabs on. But what I am saying is I'm not seeing them like I used to. However, there was a great harvest this year, and I'm about to share some of that with you now. So I'm not making excuses for me. Maybe it was me. Maybe I'm a lousy hunter. I don't think so. But maybe I am. Okay? I'm sorry I got sick. That's the bottom line. I'm getting better. I'll be fine. I'll be all right. I'm sure of it. So it is what it is. I'll have to deal with it. It's just how life goes. Now, I'm going to try to get back out on the last Friday of the deer hunt for the deer gun. So if I get something, I'm going to bring it to you. However, I don't know if I'm going to make it. I mean, tomorrow's Wednesday. This is Tuesday. And this is how I feel. It's not good. I feel like I got low-grade fever. I'm going to take me a nice shower after. I'm gargling with hot salt water and taking mentholyptus drops. And, I'm getting the rest I need. And I just want to get back to what I do, and that's the outdoors. I love it. But let me bring you some of these video clips. They're excellent. So I want you guys to see some of these. We'll take a look at that. And that's how it went down, guys. So my deer hunt did not turn out the way I wanted it to. I'm going to bring you those video clips. But first, I'm going to show you this buck my wife and I saw. So let me bring that to you. All right, here we go. So that was the buck. Now, the guys, I did forget to mention video clips I had from the hunt that I was going to bring in where I was out there in the field, where I was grunting and doing the work try to work it in. Everything I had of Outdoor Wild, I had to upgrade my computer. This is an older machine. And I thought, okay, I can do this. So I upgraded it to a Big Sur, they call it. And I upgraded this computer, so it's running a lot better. Everything's going fine. And somehow in my hard drive, and I'm not going to get into long, lengthy stories, but I deleted every video, almost every video I had of Outdoor Wild. Where I am fortunate is I can go into, or I have it displayed online under YouTube or in Rumble. I can download these videos back into my system and have them if I want them. But we are making new shows, so I'm not going to freak out about that. However, again, I lost the footage. I lost a lot of the deer hunt footage that I had. So, although I do have a clip where I went out for the gun season, I'll bring it to you real quick. Remember what I said. Okay? I got sick, and I'm going to show this to you anyway, but yeah, I had to leave the field. But I'll show it to you anyway. But let me, before I do, I want to recognize a few people here. So let's take a look at that right now. All right. Rest in peace, my brother. God be with you always. All right. We're going to take a look now at a couple of average sportsmen that sent their photos to Outdoor Wild TV, myclips at gmail.com. I got to keep remembering it myself. It's Outdoor Wild TV, myclips at gmail.com. Always feel free to send your stuff there. At any rate, they sent photos. I haven't gotten videos yet. We got some photos. So we'll be posting those right now and remembering some of these outdoor dudes. Let's take a look at it. Congratulations to Ethan Point, who bagged his first buck on a youth hunt in the UP. Nice buck, Ethan. Okay, guys, back here. I got myself cleaned up a bit. I actually took a break from this for a whole night. Took a break off. The voice is back. Still feeling lousy, but I'm doing better. Feeling a little down, but I'll be all right. At any rate, got a couple more to show you. Now, some of the guys, they're sending me photos of their deer. A couple of them I know, or one of them I know, so that's good. Some I don't know, and I have to get their names, and then they forget to tell me where they took them. So I'm just going to share their photos, and they deserve it, right? They went out and got their deer. So let's take a look at that right now. Congratulations, AJ Cucinato. You got your first deer. His first hunt was with me, and he's gone out ever since. So great job, buddy. All right, and congratulations to Jordan Welk, who got his deer this year. Nice job, nice deer. I wish I knew where you took it, Jordan. I thought I heard it was in Upper Wisconsin. All right, guys, now this was my last hunt. This is where I really started getting sick. And the funny thing, because I felt it coming on about a week before, it would toy with me and then go away, and toy with me and then go away. So, I don't know.
caught some kind of virus. But anyway, 4 hours out here. Now you see where it was all open there, right? You see that. I didn't like that, but this was a tree line I was in. And walking through those CRP fields, the grassy fields that the farmer planted, were pretty good. I mean, certainly saw a lot of sign of the deer, but now the rut's almost at the end. So, yeah, no luck. This was just a rough year for me. So I went from the bow season to Southeast Wisconsin bow hunt, to the gun hunt, and I'll try it again. But those three guys did better than I did, and I'm proud of them. I shared what I could with you guys. I'm sorry I didn't have a better season. I feel very disappointed. Look, I'm not going to worry about the fact I didn't get a deer. But I was planning this out from the beginning of the year. I didn't plan it out very well. I should have been knocking on farm doors earlier. You know, I made a few mistakes, and I learned from them. So it is what it is. I did what I did, but you know, it won't happen again. I know now. So I'll be searching. Believe me, this year now. Sure, there's more hunting to come. I can get out and here in Southeast Wisconsin, there's more bow hunting, and I can do the late season, and there's other things going on. But I do have because we cover a lot of other ground in the field of conservation. I have a lot of work coming up ahead of me. So I don't know. I'm playing this one by ear for the rest of the season, and then next season I'm gonna do a lot better, and I'm gonna be bringing some better footage to you guys. I hope. That's my game plan. At any rate, you guys go ahead. Feel free to get some of those videos and photos in here. You know, email me at outdoorwildtv, myclips.com. You know, thanks for tuning in. Love you guys. Sorry I got the way sorry things went the way they did, but you know, and here's the thing, guys. Again, I don't, you know, I've shot deer. I've taken deer. I've done fishing. I've done it. You know, I've had a good time doing it. You know, I'm 67 years old. Get out and do what I got to do. All right. But the whole thing is, it's not that big of a thing. Well, I shouldn't say that. I really enjoy doing it. But half the guys I've hunted with, let me back up. More than half the guys I've hunted with. Now, thank God, a couple of them are still around. We've lost a lot of them. You know, and I'm talking by death. Now, I have my brother-in-laws that I used to hunt with, and they pretty much retired from. But you know, they're older than I am, so you know, and the winters in Wisconsin can get pretty rough. And you know, when you have problems where you're not spotting deer like you used to spot them, for whatever the reason, we will be getting into that. Believe me, I'm going to be looking into that. You know, I was invited to join a guy on the Wolf Committee for a meeting on December 2nd in Stevens Point, where I'd have to travel to that with him. But unfortunately, I'm locked into so many projects, I can't do it all. I can't. So, but I'm going to do what I can. However, I'm going to be keeping an eye on that, and I am going to be trying to form some type of lobbyist for the hunters, and we'll see what we can do. Maybe we can start something in 2026. It would be nice. It would be nice. We got to try to bring them back. The elk herds are doing phenomenal in the north. Well, you know, I keep trying to straighten out that collar, and I'm always looking the wrong way because of the video. But at any rate, you know, my apologies to you guys. But you know, I wanted you to see something, so at least I could show off a few of those deer that those guys got. And, you know, this is the best I could do. I lost everything. I lost all the Out There Wild videos. They got corrupted in that clean out. However, I'm going to do a little more searching. I'm not done with that yet. But if I find them, that'll be phenomenal. But new stuff coming up. We got a lot more stuff coming up. And, you know, this isn't over with by any means. So, you guys rock. Thanks for tuning in. Love you guys. And we'll see you again on the next Outdoor Wild. Take care.